Be real with me for a minute. How many meetings have you been in this week that you wish you didn't have to attend? 1, 2, 5, more? I feel your pain. It is so frustrating to sit in a meeting that you didn't need to be in. And it's even worse to sit there and try to be engaged when you know it's kind of pointless, or look like you're engaged while you are simultaneously multitasking and keeping that engaged look on your face on Zoom. It's not fun for you, and it is definitely not fun for the other participants and the meeting leader. So it is time that you take control of your calendar. It is time for you to make good decisions about whether you're joining a meeting or you're doing something else, because it is your day and your productivity and your goals. So today we're going to talk about how to say no to a meeting invite without ruffling too many feathers. Welcome to the Modern Manager. I am Mamie Camper-Stewart, and every week I share tips and strategies to help you be a rockstar manager with a thriving team. Now, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Now, I know it feels hard to say no to a meeting. It might even feel impossible. I've actually talked to folks who have been aghast at the idea that I ever even suggest that they say no to a meeting invite. But we got to get over that. There are plenty of times we say no to meeting invites already. We just need to be more thoughtful about saying no when we don't need to. Right now, you probably say no to a meeting invite if you were out on vacation that week. And you would probably say no to a meeting invite if you were out sick. And you might even say no to an invite if you've already committed to another meeting during that time. So why can't we say no to a meeting invite when we look at that and say, not the best use of my time? Well, of course, you don't want to feel like you are pushing off work or trying to get out of anything. The truth is that what you're really doing is saying, I have a set of priorities and I need to focus my time and my energy on the areas that matter most. So let's look at a couple different approaches to help you do just that. The first step to saying no to any meeting, or even considering saying no, is to make sure that you know what that meeting's goal is. If you don't know what the meeting is trying to achieve, it's almost impossible to decide if this meeting is a good use of your time. So reach out to the meeting leader and just ask them in a really polite email. Hey, saw this email come through with a calendar invite. Wanted to make sure I come prepared. Can you let me know what you're trying to accomplish in this meeting? Or what are you hoping to get done in this meeting so that I can make sure I'm prepared? Something very simple that positions you as wanting to come prepared, to be a good contributor, and to get clear on what the meeting is really about to accomplish. Once you know that, then a couple things could happen. Option 1, the meeting leader realizes that, you're actually not essential for this meeting, so you don't need to be here. Option 2, you realize, this meeting is actually very important and aligned with my goals. I do need to be there. Or maybe something in between where you think you shouldn't be there, the meeting leader does, vice versa, and you can decide whether or not this is the right use of your time. And to help you figure that out, you could try this strategy, which is to talk with your manager. If you are not sure that you should be in a meeting, your manager can help you figure that out. When you go to them and say, hey, I have a bunch of things I'm trying to get done. These are the priorities I've set. These are the deadlines I'm working through. And this was a meeting I was invited to, and I'm not really sure what to prioritize here. Can you help me figure that out? You don't want to be putting it back on them. You're not trying to shift the decision from you to them. What you're asking is, I'd love your input. I'd love you to be a thought partner with me to figure out, can I offload some of my responsibilities to someone else? Can I push a deadline out? Can I opt out of this meeting? Let's make this a joint decision so that we can both feel really good about getting all the work done in the way that we expect it to be done. By taking this approach of talking about it with your manager, you're making it about priorities and not trying to get out of work or not avoidance. And this approach works well even if the meeting wasn't called by your manager, because your manager can help you think through priorities and also advocate with other managers or other leaders if you need some help in getting out of that meeting or shifting some other deadlines. If you've decided that attending the meeting isn't the right thing for you, there are still ways that you can show that you are engaged and you are contributing and that you're not trying to just get out of a meeting. So here's a couple ways you can do that. The first is to see if someone else could attend in your place. Perhaps there's someone else from your department who could attend the meeting, which could bring in the same kind of information or similar perspective, but would allow you to not have to be there. And this is a great opportunity to develop someone else in your department or someone else on your team and get more exposure and networking for them. Another approach is to provide feedback in advance. If there are materials you can review, if you're familiar with the situation and the context and you know what the meeting's about, you could offer to share a voice message or put up a written memo or leave comments on a document, or otherwise share your thinking so that the meeting leader or the other meeting participants can get that information from you, even though you're not going to be there real time to share it in the meeting. If this option doesn't come up naturally, you can always reach out to the meeting leader and say something like, I'm so sorry I'm not going to be able to attend that meeting. I would love to share my thoughts with you in advance. Would it be okay if I sent a voice message, or I've written up some thoughts? They're in the attached memo. Please let me know if there's any other questions I could be helpful answering before you head into that meeting. And lastly, you can also suggest a quick 5 or 10 minute check-in before or after the meeting. Now, you want to be careful not to take up too much of the meeting leader's time. But sometimes that quick, we want to get aligned on this before or after can be really helpful. So this could look like scheduling 5 or 10 minutes after the meeting that day or the next day to just hear what the key outcomes were and make sure that you are informed. It's super helpful if you're already using some sort of digital annotating tool to capture your meeting notes, get the summary and the takeaways. That way you could read them before you go into that check-in meeting and use your check-in meeting to really just get the clarity and ask any questions you have around follow-up and make sure that you are on the same page as a team. The point of this is to really make sure that you can take whatever came out of that meeting and help move that work forward. Now, as a manager, make sure that your team members know that they can come to you to decide if a meeting is the best use of their time. You want to be role modeling this behavior and letting people know that you want them to focus on their best priorities, their highest priorities. And sometimes that means that opting out of a meeting is the right thing. So let them know that there are other ways that they can participate. That way they'll understand that you don't just have to accept an invite just because I sent it. Remember that getting out of a meeting is not about dodging responsibility. It's about taking control of your calendar so that you can get your most important work done. If you approach meetings with curiosity and professionalism and thoughtfulness, people will appreciate that you are being respectful of your time and of theirs. So the next time a calendar invite lands in your inbox, before you hit accept, take a beat, assess the value, and then decide how to respond strategically. Your calendar and your productivity will thank you. For more tips on how to be a rockstar manager with a thriving team, go to themodernmanager.com. But before you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video and check out my latest.